Hi, everyone. Let me introduce myself. My name is Eleanor, and I'd like to welcome you to my talk show, Eleanor's Elite Radio. This is my first time here at Talk Network Radio, and I hope you continue to tune in every Thursday at 2 p.m. My show will be that of an entertainment and variety show, but also focusing on important issues like children advocacy and animal rights, which are both a very dear passion of mine. I am a former Montessori educator. I wanted to let everybody know that I've worked in many avenues, both in the legal field and administration. I found a few years back that I could help more children if I only had a larger audience, which prompted me to come to radio. I can guarantee you we're going to have so much fun here at Eleanor's Elite Radio. And speaking of fun, capital F-U-N, my co-host today is Mr. Michael Emmanuel Couture.
Cello. Happy Thursational Thursday, Eleanor.
In case for those listeners who are new to my show, he is a fabulous designer, and I've been to many of his fashion shows, and there's one word that I can think of is art, A-R-T. If you can picture in your mind what art consists of, line, form, shape, volume, color, texture, if you can imagine all those concepts, you'll see a Michael Emmanuel Couture design. Thank you, Michael, for being here with me today. And how are you, darling, now that the new year is here?
Thank you so much for having me. Yes, and happy 2017 to you as well.
Yes, happy 2017 to you.
It's going to be awesome. Thank you for having me.
Michael, tell me a little bit about your fashion night out, for our new listeners, and we're going to get into it much later today. And also, everybody's information will be on my fan page on Facebook, Eleanor's Elite Radio. Facebook.com.
Yeah, I had to think about it.
I always forget that little ending there. Anyway, tell us a little bit about Fashion Night Out.
Well, Fashion Night Out is nothing more than, it's a fashion night out, fashion designs, etc. And I'm actually doing Fashion Night Out 2017, which is going to be held at the Ekdahl Civic Center on Saturday, July 29th.
So mark your calendars and also come to my page and I will get all the information to you if you want to buy tickets. I'm sure we have to get tickets.
Yeah, actually, I don't have all that information up yet, but it is coming, yes.
Okay, great. I also want to remind everyone that we have here with us Miss Darlene. Hi, Darlene.
Hello, Darlene.
How are you?
I'm doing great.
Miss Darlene is a wellness coach. Yes.
Yes.
And you are a health advocate.
Absolutely.
And there is no better way to start the new year off than with a lovely lady like yourself and us two perfect, wonderful individuals.
Absolutely.
I want to remind everyone that we're listening again to Eleanor's Elite Radio here on Talk Network Radio, and you can hear my show any time of the day or night from anywhere as well. The web address to hear me is talknetworkradio.com. We have a special guest today. Again, her name is Darlene. Is it Ekdahl?
Yes.
Ekdahl. Okay. We have a theme this year, which is why I invited you on the show. New you, new year. I think it's so important. With everything that we've dealt with in 2016, it was such a hellacious year, I believe, with everything, with politics and health and losing people and illnesses. I'm just so grateful for the new year. And that's why it's so important that we have you on today. What a better way to start off the new year, but with a wellness coach who specializes in good eating, supplements, and a better way of life. Welcome, Darlene, again.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
So, big question of the day. Anybody make resolutions? Michael?
Actually, I did not make any resolutions this year.
Good.
With the exception of it being better than last year.
And that's not a resolution. That's a goal.
Right.
Yeah.
So, no, I haven't.
How about you, Darlene? Did you make any new resolutions?
I absolutely don't really believe in resolutions. I believe every day is a chance to make a better day for yourself and a better goal. So not exactly.
I think that
What about you?
Well, I did make a New Year's resolution, and it's happened. It's here. I made a resolution to improve my life and improve my career and move on, and I'm doing that, and I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful for Jeff for having me here today, and I'm very happy. I'm very blessed. And 21% of the people did make resolutions. 69% did not, and 11% just did it for the fun aspect. So I think people are they're not even promising themselves anymore, to break. I feel it's like you set yourself up. Don't you agree?
Yes.
Yeah. Anyway, before I get into the news, I want to talk about my sponsor for today. His name is Lowell Everly. He's from Everly's Air and Heat. Lowell Everly is the owner and very kind and honest person. I've known the family for over 20 years, and he can take care of any of your air and heating needs. He can be reached at 321-254-1247, or you can get him through the internet, everlysair.com. Again, give him a call. He's so honest and such a well-trusted person. And like I said, our children went to school together. If you go online, he has two specials. One is a $59 service call, and the other is, if you mention this ad and myself, you can receive a $250 discount. And of course, you can't use them together. You know, come on. I got to make some kind of money. All right. Anyway, I want to talk about something I read in the paper today. The city of Rockledge offers what's called babysitting training. It's a wonderful thing, I think, but let's not go there. I'm not that happy about it. So don't be shaking your head in agreement yet, Darlene. Anyway, Brevard County provides a babysitting class. It runs January 3rd through the 6th from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. If you want information on this class, you contact Debbie Bowling at 321-633-1874. Okay, so what they do, is the cost is $100. They train the children, or you have to be 11 years old and up. And it covers your books, your materials, American Red Cross certification in first aid in children, infant CPR. Lunch is not included. Okay. I appreciate this because I think it's important for young adults to have that responsibility. And I'm for it. I believe 11's too young, though, for any child to take a CPR course, and for that responsibility to be left on an 11-year-old child is beyond my recognition, number one. The mother of that baby who's going to leave it with an 11-year-old child, I also want to question, okay, because I'm a child advocate. My concern is the child, okay. My platform, of course, is always benefiting children. So what takes me from this story is how also in daycares, that we have a lot of daycare people that run these businesses from their homes. And all they have to do to open up this daycare is to take a 40-hour DCF course. Okay. So, and a lot of times in preschools, this is what you have to this is what you have. You have, a 40-hour individual who's went to here in Rockledge, or they have them all over, a 40-hour trained person who's in charge of your child. Now, I know the laws and the regulations and laws have absolutely been very much more strict, as far as now they're requesting at the very least, an associate's degree in early childhood education to be able to teach any age child. Being a Montessori educator, there is no ifs, ands, and buts about that. You have to have an education to even go near my 2-year-old child. I don't know. How do you feel about that, or is it just me? Come on, be truthful.
I don't know.
You don't have an opinion.
I would kind of agree with you on that.
Okay.
I do, because you figure your child, you have 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-olds. I mean, if there's anybody that's going to say take care of your child, say a babysitter,
yes,
someone of that nature. One, for example, my little nephew. He's 6 years old. There's no way we just going to let anybody take care of him.
Exactly.
At all. We need to know about you. We need to know your back. We need to know your blood test.
Yes,
your blood
sir.
type.
I agree.
So I can agree with, nowadays you can't just have anybody take care of your child, because people nowadays are.
Yeah. And being a former educator, I had to pass FBI, CIA, high clearance, local. Then I had to go for the local aspect, fingerprint.
But too, even though you go through all of that, sometimes still that doesn't even make a difference.
No, you're right.
It doesn't.
No, you're right. You're absolutely right, because somebody can still hurt your child.
Absolutely.
But I do feel that we need to lobby this in Washington more so, that not just anybody can open up in a little house like this a daycare.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
They need to be monitored. They need to be videoed 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and that's just, I'm sorry.
And
but
my other thought on that too, when you say 11, that's an average 6th grader.
Right.
I mean, are they even allowed to really be left home alone by themselves?
Exactly.
I mean, what is... I mean,
Well,
I know some mature sixth graders, but I also know some that could get themselves into some. So I think
Yes.
that is kind of young to be
I
putting
think
that
so
on
too.
there.
Yeah.
So on to more exciting news.
Exciting.
Wait a minute. Medical marijuana. We know that the Amendment 2 was officially became Florida's law on Tuesday of this week. But of course, with all the schlepping and everything, it's going to take more than a year before anybody can,
Yes.
the way this reporter put it, is get their hands on medical marijuana. Like, really? Okay. Anyway, our the big attorney here, John Morgan, has been pushing this and lobbying for this because of his brother, who
Yes.
was critically had a spinal injury
Yes.
and desperately needed this medical marijuana for his pain. I wasn't really too clear on what the needs of his brother were, but I know he had a terrible accident and was wheelchair bound, right?
Spinal cord injury. Yes.
Spinal cord injury. And he was really gung-ho for this. Anyway, so long story, they think that having our medical marijuana now was going to decrease the drug use. And I kind of tend to agree a little bit. I tend to agree because I think if you have that access, as long as it's for the medically needed people, I'm not talking about, the high school kid who wants to smoke a joint on 420,
Okay.
I'm talking about people that really need it for anxiety, dealing with cancer, with certain pain.
Seizures,
And you're a nurse,
autism,
Darlene, right?
yes.
Yeah. And seizures especially, I heard so much about
Yes.
it. Now, what kind of nursing did you do again?
Critical care.
Critical care. There you
22
go.
Years. Yeah.
So I'm sure you're absolutely, were you
Well,
for or against
I
it?
am for it, and having a child with special needs on the autism spectrum and having a seizure disorder, the law still has a long way to go because it's not for anyone under 18 years of age.
Right.
And I've seen other children who have had to move to Colorado for intractable seizures that have benefited from the Charlotte's Web, which is
Right.
part of the legal medical marijuana. So,
Right.
yes, we have a ways to go to help those people that could benefit.
But, if you have a good doctor, I think, too, that, he might be able to help you help your child. Don't you think?
The way I think the law is written, there's only certain physicians who are going to have the ability to write the script for medical marijuana.
Right. And how old is your son?
He is 15.
15.
So,
I actually have a question. Medical marijuana. Where can you get it? Is it grown? Is it sprayed with some type of special chemical? What is it?
Medical marijuana is nothing more than it's controlled, grown in greenhouses, and there will be dispensaries. There'll be little stores that are run by the government, and of course, that's going to be big money for everybody as well. And it's not, I think it's very natural. I don't believe that there are any insecticides that are used. I wouldn't know about that aspect. So basically, I don't really know the particulars as far as that's concerned, but I do know that there's different grades. Okay. Some have higher potency of THC levels, some have less amounts. Because I think it's the THC level in it that if you're just a regular kind of smoker, for recreation, is what gets you very paranoid and very nervous. So I think the medical grade of marijuana is curtailed to specifics, right? I would imagine.
And also part of the medical marijuana is also the form of the oils that some of them either vape.
The hash oil.
They vape it, like the Charlotte's Web. It comes in an oil form that helps, I know, with seizure disorders. And
so it's not always smoked. They have it in pill form and they have it in oil form.
Right.
Does someone actually take it and see what it does to them in order to say, okay, well, this is for this is for that, or
I'm sure the person who opens the dispensary is very knowledgeable on the kind of weed that's there.
But that's so just okay.
Yeah, it's pretty wild though.
Yeah,
it is.
It is.
Let's get into entertainment news because a lot happened over the
yes,
weekend.
let's do it.
My girl Mariah Carey.